I read a story when I was young, a man called Rip Van Winkle. So he slept for about 20 years, or I don't know, woke up and went to his house. People couldn't recognize. That is exactly how I felt. A lot, like Accra, a lot of things have changed. People I knew, small children, are now grown-ups and so on. I couldn't recognize even some of my own children who have not. So, adjustment, it was difficult. It was difficult to adjust.
There's been times where I've been released in the past and all I wanted to do was go back to jail because that was all I knew. I didn't know how to live outside.
Most people, once they've been arrested and then they're out of prison, it's very difficult to get a job. The society doesn't look at you the same way. So they don't know it's better to go back to prison.
When I got released from custody over a year ago, I was only out for 9 months, and that time they basically told me not to get a job, don't worry about it, like just reintegrate by yourself, no real help. And then when I asked to do things, they were like, oh, you want to do stuff? Like they were shocked that I actually wanted to keep myself busy.
I was in prison over and over and over again, and no one seemed to want to help me. I found help after being 20 years under the authority of the California Department of Corrections.
Accommodation I could find was with people that I used to use drugs with. But I also tried to get housing. I went there every day for 3 months, and they said within 90 days I'd have a house, and 9 months later I didn't even get a phone call. I asked to go back to jail 2 months before I went back. I asked parole to go back, and they thought I was joking. And then I ended up having to do 11 months because no one would listen to what I was saying. And I said maybe for 4 weeks, every time I went in there, for most of my parole time I was in there, I said I'm going to go back to jail, I really need you to understand. And they just thought nah, it's right, you'll get through, it's just a rough patch. It wasn't. I knew where I was going to end up, and I knew that I was going to end up there for a long time.
Once they found out that you have a criminal record, they were not even gonna call you back. There was one time which I got a good job, but I didn't disclose to them because I thought, okay, fine. This time around, I'm not gonna disclose to them. I'm not gonna tell them that I have a record. And then someone else tipped them off that I had a record, and then I just took the job just like that. It will follow me around everywhere I go. It's gonna be there. It's not gonna go away. People will know what happened. They're still talking about it. They're still gossiping about it.
In 1982, I lost my son. His name was KK. He was 5 years old. One minute he was playing and the next minute he was gone. He was killed by a policeman. My world shattered. I began to drink, and my drinking escalated to drug use, and I was imprisoned. My own personal experience of cycling in and out of the prison system for over 15 years, being sentenced to prison, not offered any reentry services or services for my substance abuse problem. Once I found services that helped me to address my substance abuse, grief, and trauma, I healed and was on my way. I thought back about how long I had been tied to the criminal justice system and how effective and humane treatment and therapy had been for me, and wondered why it hadn't been offered years, even decades before.
Anxiety, so I could never do any of the training programs that they have in there to help you rehabilitate. Then, I don't know, the way I would see prison over here is it's just designed to bring you down. It's just designed to break you. The last time I got out, I think I got too proud of myself. Convinced myself that I'd turned the corner and I had to go back to jail. It was sort of like a wee wake up call, you know. God telling me that your work's not done. Oh, I've said it so many times, but I get fed up with saying it, to be honest, because it's like you're letting yourself down every time you do. Setting yourself up for a fail. This is the last time I got picked up. I just got picked up, brought home. It was easy getting help with getting a doctor's appointment, or even a doctor's surgery, a dentist. Whenever you've done so many years in jail, you don't know where to go, where to start. You don't know how am I getting my benefits set up, how do I go about getting a doctor's or an ID or a bank account or whatever. And William's helped me a lot, so he has.
I'd worked with Connor and Reset. Things is very fragile. There's so much that has to change, you know, and one of the hardest things as well is even like friends, circles of friends. We all have different things we want to change, and yet we fail, and then it just becomes, what's the point in staying anymore? But that's where I think in some instances, the likes of this project, you've got someone who's interested in you.
I was like everyone else, I didn't think it was going to be as true, or, you know, and I thought, oh, give them benefit of the doubt. And I came out and it was everything and more. Like, I have safe and accommodating housing, you know, I've got a lift to work every day, I've got employment, they'll help me go to my programs, they want me to succeed, and it's an added support along with parole and everyone else that don't really care that much, but the people in the Worldview program, they actually care, you know. Like, yeah, it's good to see that people actually care about us. Like, just because we're criminals doesn't mean we shouldn't, you know, we don't matter in that. I feel like I actually have a chance of finishing my parole and succeeding, so yeah, it's a lot different. Like, I feel a lot more stable. And the support network, it's not just one person, there's 5, 6, 7 people, even the people that have done the program before me that are still here that are living with me. I can go, and if I feel like I need to speak to someone after hours, I can go speak to someone. Or I can call one of the facilitators. Yeah, housing, accommodation, yeah, that's mad. But to have the support 24 hours a day, that's amazing. Like, no one gives that to anyone.
After I found the help, I thought about all the women who were getting off the buses downtown LA, Skid Row, just like I had got off the bus a half a dozen times, looking for a way out, looking for a way up. Well, after I got stronger and saved a little money, I began a New Way of Life reentry project. I began a new way of life in my house. I would go down to the bus station and I'd meet them there and I'd say, girl, I have a house if you'd like a safe place to live.
And do you enjoy the hospitality industry? Do you like working in it?
I like it a lot. Especially interacting with people, different people. It's like, yeah, I love it. What I love meeting people. I love talking to people, interacting with people. That's it. That's what I love doing. How can you move on from your past if it's like keeps on showing up in your face? And the society as well is still there, like reminding you what you did.
I want to be able to almost do this as well, I want to be able to help people get back on their feet once I have, Yeah, because I know how hard the system is, so I'd rather be able to help someone navigate it, especially if it's their first time.
My life dream is simple. It's have a family, nice job, wife, house, car, and that's it. Doesn't even have to be fancy.
Yeah, we talked about leaving legacies, didn't we, Connor, the last time? We just want to leave a good legacy till
Something to be remembered about.
it doesn't be a footballer or a rock star. And we talked about that. I used to play in a punk band many years ago myself. But the
That would
legacy,
have been funny to see.
yeah, it would have been. But just the legacy is, for me, my legacy, in the sense of if I can give Connor hope, that's a fantastic legacy. If he can do the same then for a family of his own or for some other person, it was a real, tangible legacy.